Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So since season 17 is here, I have decided to make a PvP tier list already, even though the full is not really out. Arcana hasn't had time to be properly and fully tested in the World Arena and Foggy Colosseum because it's currently not active, but I have decided to give them a speculation on the rank based on their so far testing in the duels, the current testing in the Foggy and in the duels and in the World Arena, and the full wasn't tested, but I have seen her in Dimensional Arena and she seems quite promising. So let's go. I have made a new SS tier, which is basically all of the heroes that make any team good. They make any team be really good and have a very high potential chance to win. These heroes include Lucifer, Hela, Loki, Venus, Primordial Arctina, Babylon, Victoria, and I have decided to keep Leviathan here, although you could argue she could be down there as well. I just simply like being her here because she's really truly strong in the current meta of spams, and just one reflect could win you the battle. So yeah, the overall rating for all of these heroes, they are not really ordered by much, but I would say they kind of are. I have tried to order all of them from left to right, so far I believe it's correct, but you could argue they could be swapped around and played around with, depending on what the matchup is and what the meta team is. Currently the meta is very well balanced. A lot of teams can beat many teams, especially the Tree and Lucifer. They're all beatable, everything is beatable with enough counter picks, with enough thinking and playing. So let's go over the tier list. Lucifer, not gonna talk about her, just slap her in. Your team has insane odds of winning without even thinking much. Hela is pretty much close there, but she's not tier to the Lucifer. She does can make your team be slightly weaker if you go up against Dooms, for example. She will increase your attack so much that you can just one-shot yourself, but apart from that, she's still a great hero, and she can make a lot of teams just be infinitely better even with her in, although you will need to use your brain when using her. Loki will make any team better, whether it's Ethereals or the Valiantors, all apart the Dooms and the Mystifers. I believe she can be played in. Venus can be played in quite literally any team because she's so broken. It's just unreal how strong she is. Just slap her in and she will win. Yes, this also works on the Mystifers too, which has been kind of like played around nowadays, but yeah, keep in mind Venus is really OP, just starting at just 8 stars. Loki does need 9 stars to be reliable, but she's so strong it doesn't matter. Lucifer, the tree doesn't counter her, which is main part. She will still keep ulting even though the tree is deployed. Primordial Arctina does kind of have counter being the tree, so I will move her slightly down, like somewhere right here. But she's still very strong. She can be slapped in Ethereals, in Avengers, in Phantoms, in Dooms, anywhere she will do the job. Her main goal is to provide sustain, insane sustain at that, but she is countered by the tree. Unfortunately, the tree does seal her passive, so as long as you can manage to sustain the first or second round, depending on what star level the tree is, she is still a key main hero. Victoria, I don't know if she's worthy of being the make 6 teams better, but she still is. Like, comparing Valiantors without and with Victoria or Dooms is really night and day difference, so I will keep her here just because she's that good, and even though it's been like a year if no longer, she's still a key hero for the PvP battles. Leviathan, as I have said, her unique skill of reflecting back skills in the current spamming meta is just too valuable. Her reflect increase also is too valuable. Overall, a really strong hero, and her runes also boost the base HP, which is pretty unique, so her runes are absolutely mandatory when it comes to PvP. The next tier is going to be S+ tier, which is unique special passives. Now this tier follows the tier above, but they're just slightly weaker. They're not much weaker, but just slightly weaker heroes. They're very unique in terms of the skills they provide, and they all play a key niche role in the teams they are in. So they are very valuable as the heroes above. They just don't make the team like unbeatable, like slapping Venus in Mystifers or slapping Loki in Glorians, or just Ethereals. It's not to that tier, but it's still very close to that. First hero being Arcane Bella. I don't think there's much to talk about her. Her and Elisha are the key duo parts. Both are monarchs, both have the CC being one speed reduction, the second being freeze. They're just key parts and they always go together. They're just so strong, you will always use them together and play around them pretty much. They're two key heroes that you play around, swap heroes around, and just build synergy around them. Next up is Susano. Although she's mostly used in the Dooms, her uniqueness is in the fact that she cleanses the stuns. She can be used in Ethereals too, but it's not really recommended. Her main part is being used in the Dooms and she makes them so much better paired with Babylon. It's absolutely insane. And yeah, I forgot to mention, Babylon makes any team better because of her insane healing. Pair her with Monarchs, for example, like team here I did build. This team I called the Paladin Hades. Basically, the team is not dying because of Babylon's heals. So even though if you seal the Babylon's heals from the tree, once the tree effect expires, she will bring her healing back even though she's dead. So yeah, this team right here, without the tree, without the Lucifer, beat the Lucifer tree. So as you can see, the meta is very well balanced and can be played around. It's full on sustain team and it's only missing primarily Arcdina, which you can swap for Hades in, I guess, if you want even more sustain. But the point is to keep Hades alive so he eats all of the opponents one by one, and also Aphrodite steals them. The issue is Aphrodite often just gets countered by Lucifer, so that's the main issue in this team. But yeah, overall, I'm showing you that primarily Arcdina and Babylon can make teams really, really deadly. Now, Hera and Narissa are the key duos of Avengers. You play them pretty much always together. They're just so strong, the strongest Avenger Phantoms in the game by far. And they're just really, really insane. Narissa does damage with her ultimates, whereas Hera does damage by her deaths, or rather by the deaths of all allies. So these two heroes always they work so great together and you will always run them. And yeah, overall you play around them when it comes to Avenger Phantoms. Then we have Judgment, which I have ranked pretty low on my priority list, so I do apologize for that. But yeah, I do fully believe that her passive effect, which is the ape blocking thing, I got fully fixed, and I do believe that she's working really nicely now. And she gives your team basically massive sustain, whether it's against Glorians, whether it's against Mystifers or any team like the Ethereals. Because of the freeze, she just gives you massive advantage. So she's really, really strong. But I do believe her full potential lies in the full Glorians instead of the mixing heroes, just because of the Glorians relic synergy, which is basically just giving her insane amounts of buffs to proc her passive instantly and give your team a full-on ape passive which blocks skills, which is written right here. So in PvP, the number of buff stacks gained by allies is double. Additionally, each buff stack grants a 2% chance to block incoming damage up to 40% or 50% at 12 stars. So yeah, her ranking, I'm going to give her S+ tier because she has a unique passive which is similar to Leviathan. She just doesn't reflect it back. She just allows allies to soak it. Yorm, still a key hero, still a very strong hero on top of that, so she will remain in the S+ tier. I believe I moved Eve up, but that's just because of the combo of Eve and Asmodeus. These two heroes make Mystifers absolutely deadly and top tier. That Knight, I believe, is worthy of being here. Her fame rises from day to day. She's insane when it comes to sustain, damage, revivals, and the sustain from the immortality she brings. So her value rises more and more, and I do believe she can be used in many teams nowadays to make them even better. The Fool, I'm going to speculate, will be in the S+ tier based on the Dimensional Arena performance. Her passive is insane, her runes are insane. So I believe she's going to be strong and perhaps bring Valiantors even more to the meta, to the top tiers. Then we have the Phantom Illusion duo, the S Marina Hades. Hades is still valuable because he does eat every 2 rounds with his legendary runes, so as long as you keep him alive, you will win by round 10. Behemoth only purpose is, in my opinion, the speed reduction, so she's unique in terms of that, or rather giving your team plus 50 speed, and the stun on that, and also the permanent stun if her Behemoth is alive. But apart from that, I was considering moving her actually down, but for now I will keep her in the last slot of the S+ tier. And then S Marina still valuable because of the Phantom Illusion blocking, so if you're going against Aphrodite, you can bring Marina into the Glorians and make sure that your Loki, Judgment, or anyone other that is a key important hero like Yorm doesn't get stolen by Aphrodite. So yeah, those were the SS tier and S+ tier heroes. The bottom tier is C tier healers, which is mostly found in the early game, bench later on, so these heroes you will mostly used in the early game and mid game, but you will bench them as soon as you get up. Anyone that is slightly even better. B tier, we have usable heroes, not ideal, not terrible, but can work. So heroes like Bahamut, Fenrir, Leandra, Lancelot, and many other heroes. They can work in some teams, they can work, especially Ra, for example, can work in Valianters, but it's just not, in my opinion, recommended to either build her or play around her. Then we have A tier, Volderina, or tournament heroes occasionally in main teams, which means sometimes you will find heroes like Janna in the main Phantom Avengers. You can find Izanami in the main heroes played around with Arcane Doorbell or Eudora. Audrey as well, Gaia as well, and many of these heroes you can find in the main teams sometimes, but they're mostly like your World Arena teams, fillers in the tournament, etc. And lastly, we have the S tier, which is best in their synergy role. So, for example, Pandora and Everhead are kind of best in their Valiantors faction. The same goes for the Aphrodite Isis for the Avenger Monarch, same goes for the Odin for the Avengers, or you can also use her in the Mystifiers. Wuzetian, still strong, still valuable. Ascended Bastet, Tiamat, and the Tsuki for the Mystifiers, either the first or second team, doesn't matter. Sarija Yushta, slightly bottom, I believe maybe she could be in the bottom of the S plus tier, or at the like top of here actually, so I will keep her here. She's still very valuable, she's still very good, especially with her legendary wounds, and this is a PvP ranking after all. It's not overall tier list, but a PvP one. So maybe she would be worthy to be at the top, but unsure yet. So I'm going to keep her in the S tier just for the best in their synergy role, because you will always use her in the main dooms, that's for sure. And then we have Ying Zheng for the Phantom Avengers, always gonna use him, he's just so good. And Arcana, yeah, you can use her too, but I believe Ying Zheng is just better, purely because he doesn't fully rely on his speed, whereas Arcana truly does. Even though Arcana does have better buffs and is kind of stronger when it comes to dying from the Hera Bomb or Magatama, Ying Zheng will just slightly be better in the next season, so yeah, overall they're about the same tier. So yeah, that was a quick recap of my PvP tier list so far. I believe it's pretty accurate. I think it's better than the previous season one, so overall I'm quite happy with the result. I like this tier because these heroes truly make any kind of team like better. They will just be built around the team that is already strong and make it even better. These heroes, you build your teams around them, these heroes fill those teams, and these heroes are kind of like World Arena tournament teams. These heroes you can use, but it's not recommended, and these heroes you will not use after like a mid game. So yeah, overall, that's it for the PvP tier list. Thank you for watching, and see you guys in the next one.